Hello, everybody.
Hi, Carolyn.
You've got this cool green color, Faith. Love that.
I know, it's something to do with the coloring on the laptop. I've tried to fix it, it won't, so.
I like it. It's one of my favorite colors. Got some early birds, that's great. We are recording this meeting. I'm hoping we have a good turnout today. Hope everyone's doing well. I will be checking the chat box if anybody chooses to use it. Last meeting, Jerry was writing some stuff in there and I didn't check it and I felt so bad about it. So I will be checking it this time. And the nice thing about Zoom is it will record everything, including the text that's put in the chat box. So if I have missed anything, it'll be there on record. So that's good. We'll give it a few more minutes for people to jump in here. There's Suzanne. Now I've got everybody muted to start, so I will, if you want to take yourself off mute, I think you can. But if not, no worries. Okay, all right, good. Hi, there's my social media rock star. I tell you, Suzanne, I can't thank you enough.
Everything you say, that's all.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I know I have a fan in you. I know I have a fan in you.
I know we're not eating pizza together, but I did bring my lunch. I hope you.
Good. I'm glad. We want everything to be normal. Normalcy. All right. I'm hoping we get a couple more people on here. We'll give it a couple more minutes. Oh, Charlene. Good. Let's see. All right, it's 12:02. Thank you for being here. We may have a couple of people joining as we go, but that's totally fine. Oh, Heather, hi. First of all, I just want to check in with everybody and see how everyone's doing. I know that a lot of people are doing a lot of these meetings, and it's probably a little silly to keep repeating yourself about how you're doing at home or wherever you might be, but I am interested. So, how's everybody doing?
Hanging in there.
Good. And like I said, the chat box is there. So if you're thinking of anything and you want to write it down, please use that. I will be checking. It will be recorded. So let's see here. So the last time we met was like the first Monday after they shut the schools down. And this meeting wasn't very well attended, and that's okay. There's always emails I can send out with updates and things like that. And I know you guys read the emails. I thank you for your attention. So, we got a lot going on, and, with our plans, we will have to pivot a little bit and change some of our plans because of social distancing and schools being out, but that's okay. We know that sometimes in-person events don't always work the way we want them to anyway. So, I'm optimistic that we can carry out all of the things that we said we were going to do before June 30th. I think we can pretty much do everything, maybe with some changes. Hello, Dr. Vash. Hello. We have a newcomer, everybody.
Hi there, I'm Marilyn Vachet.
Vachet, I'm sorry, I said your name wrong.
It's okay.
So, Dr. Vachet is a new attendee. Luckily, you met Archie somehow, and Archie introduced you to me, and so we're super happy you could join us. Thank you for being here.
I see he's absent.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Archie doesn't make this one. I don't know. He's not always into some of our tech stuff that we do, so it's okay. I don't have an answer for him about our survey anyway, so use my telephone there. Anyway, so welcome.
Thank you.
Would you like to briefly introduce yourself to the group?
Yes, I'm a newcomer to the area. I moved to New London in October, and before that was in Salem for a couple of years, but mostly I've lived in the Southwest. I'm a general adult psychiatrist and an addictionist, and I do locum tenens work. So I work, luckily I'm able to work from home right now and for the next 6-7 months. My next job will be with an Arizona firm, so my hours will be roughly 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we'll see how I can fit into the work you do. But I really enjoy addiction medicine, and I'm always happy to give an opinion. Whether or not it's going to be valuable, we'll find out.
Oh, it will be. It will be. It's. We haven't had a. We have a nurse, a psych nurse who I don't know if you know Rosemary Robertson. She works at Yale. She's wonderful, but her schedule is super busy. She's does a lot of things, but she's sort of been our healthcare backbone. We have some social workers and some other people on our coalition, but it's really wonderful to have you here. So I thank you for your time.
Thanks. Can I meet the rest of the crew?
Yeah, so if anybody wants to quickly take themselves off and say hello to Dr. Vachet.
Hi, Dr. Vachet. I'm Suzanne Talbot. I'm a school psychologist with Groton Public Schools.
Great.
I've been part of GASP forever. It's a great group. I really believe strongly in what we do.
Great, thanks, Susan.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Officer Heather McClellan from the Groton Police Department, and I am the community policing officer, and I've been here for almost a year.
Okay, thanks, Heather.
Hi, I'm Jerry Locken with Groton Parks and Recreation, and like Suzanne Talbot there, I've been around since this began about 20 years ago.
Wow, all right, thank you for that.
Hi, I'm Charlene Swink. I work as a sanitarian at Ledgelight, and I'm actually interning this semester. I'm finishing up my MPH with Maryland. So I've been joining the meeting when I can and doing some work with her.
And say your name again?
Charlene Swink.
Charlene, thanks.
Hi, I'm Faith Claspel. I am a parent of 2 Groton students. I am the program director for Community of Hope, which is a supportive recovery home for ladies in Groton. And I'm also a woman in recovery. I have 17 years sober.
Nice, thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for introducing yourself, everybody. So we're so lucky to have such a great group of people. I have to say on our email list, we have probably close to 100 people, but I would say we have a core group of about 10 to 15 people who are very involved. And you can see some of our rock stars that are tuning in today. We have some members who they like to stay informed, but they can't always show up. So they're on the list, but this is a good representation of the people who are usually here every month. So
Great.
that's great. All right. So does anybody have any community updates or any discussion items that they want to talk about here today? Things going on in the community?
I have an update, Carolyn.
Okay.
We talked about at the Serenity Ball,
Yep.
a new arm of Community of Hope, which is the Kindness Connection, which is a way that we wanted to reach out to the community with basic needs, help. So I'd say we started giving things to people around the holidays, but there's definitely been a lot more need. So that's really for people that are extra vulnerable economically right now. So obviously we've had people that were new to sober homes, just that came out of corrections, people that don't have anything to do with recovery but needed help with groceries. So we've had groceries delivered right to people's door. We've had gift cards given out. So that's really been getting us high numbers of getting out to the community and giving extra support. So that's been really exciting. So
That's
if anyone
wonderful.
wants to refer anyone, we have a phone number, and the person in need could contact us for an initial screening to see just basic questions. And if anyone wants the number, it's 860-856-5655. And there's also a Kindness Connection Facebook page, and there's a link right there where people can directly fill out what their need is, and then we contact them and have a pretty quick turnover, just dropping things off at their front door. So it's been exciting.
That's terrific. Yeah, I've been watching that program grow. Annette's been also keeping me posted to that. I remember sort of when it sort of started as the backpack project, and it's really evolved. So yay, love that. Love that, love that, love that. Anything else? Things going on? Observations. All right, well, if you think of anything, put it in the chat box or bring it up later. That's totally cool too. I am going to put this on our agenda, so you won't see me, you'll see our agenda. Everyone should be able to see that now. So social marketing, we do a lot of that. It's one of my favorite things that we do. It's any opportunity to be creative and get out information is always one of my favorite things to do. I'm happy to report that after a little bit of recruitment, we were able to get Dr. Blayfeld from Gold Star Pediatrics to do our next rack card. We do a lot of print materials, and in the past we've worked with providers, and this is certainly something Dr. Vacher could do if you wanted to ever, from your perspective. We try to get out tips and information and facts out to the community. And we call them rack cards because they fit into the nice little brochure holders. So we will be working on that this spring. And, you know, we'll get those out however we can do that. Because, you know, people aren't doing things as much in person anymore, I can make these shareable images as well, so we can use them for social media. So that's good news. The next thing is the National Drug and Alcohol Facts Week. Many of you saw the posts that we did on all of our social media sites. I was able to work with several different coalitions around the state to collaborate with the different hashtags to make sure that we were all, you know, getting out information and working together. We used Groton Prevents to indicate our involvement. And we also used CT Prevents as sort of the tracker for the state effort, in addition to NDAFW 2020, which is the hashtag that we use. So the nice thing about this is when I went back to count how many views things had, I could very easily just check the hashtag and count. And I could also track to see how many people saw our posts. And I'm happy to say, and I think I put this in an email, that we had over 12,000 views of this campaign that we did. And that's without any paid boosting. That was just organic, really. Now, I joked that I was in Twitter jail for 3 days because I was a little too excited about being on Twitter, I guess, and I made a couple of moves that they thought were spam. So I learned some lessons about being careful on social media. I was also in Facebook jail for a lot of this because I apparently posted something about COVID-19 and some algorithm caught me. And, you know, I don't post anything that's not factual. You know, on my personal page, maybe I'll do some opinion type stuff, but on the GASP page, I'm very careful about what I post, but they flagged something and they restricted my page for about 2 weeks. So unfortunately, during this effort, the GASP Facebook page, which has our biggest audience, was not in use, unfortunately. But anyway, so some of you may have seen with some of this, you know, interesting downtime. Now I'll have to say that not much has changed for me. You know, I'm still keep it on, but I haven't always been in the office. Sometimes I have time, you know, at home with my computer, and, you know, there's only so much Netflix, right? So, you know, I get, like you guys know, I like to be creative. I like to do a lot of social media. It's one of the fun parts of what I get to do. So I decided to take the list of developmental assets from the Search Institute. Let me see if I can change this screen here. We'll go back. Let's see here. Maybe I won't. But anyway, so the developmental assets, some of you are familiar with them. There's a list of them. There's 40 of them. And I thought it would be great to make little videos of each one, some shareable images and some videos. And I've just been doing this. This wasn't in our plan. I just kind of came up with the idea just because I wanted something to do, and I figured, you know, it was a good time to do it. So what I've been doing is taking each developmental asset and making either a little video or a shareable image of them, and I've been listing them. And there's 40 of them, and I think I got up to 16 so far. So if you have time, or if you're so inclined, head on either Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, and you can see those and tell me what you think. I'm kind of just making them up on the fly. I've got this little program and I'm playing with it, and it's fun. So we're doing some prevention work with the assets, and you know, we talk about them, but we've never really called them out. But you know, it's a great thing to talk about because youth development is something that we care about, brain development, etc. Now, the last thing on this list is the Take It to the Box campaign. As you know, is our promotion of proper and safe medication disposal. The National Day, Drug Take Back Day, was canceled this year, like many things, shocking. Where people, usually Heather and I would set up a little station at the senior center where people could drop off their medication, and it's a national holiday, or observance rather. And we've been doing that for several years. The police departments and GASP have been doing it together. And it's always been a pretty popular thing. But luckily we have these 2 installed boxes in our lobbies that we get to use whenever. And they're available to the public whenever the lobby is available to the public, which is usually most times. And people can dispose of their medications there. So it's been a very popular program, and we continue to promote it. All right, any questions so far? Let me check our chat box. Yeah. Parents and students are still overwhelmed. Yeah, yeah, this is bizarre. All right, so education. So we're big into observance weeks, right? So we have National Drug and Alcohol Facts Week, which we did mostly on social media, which was great. Now we have National Prevention Week coming up. And that is something many of you know that we've been highlighting every year for the past 5 years, and some in the past too, but I've really tried to make a concerted effort here to really acknowledge it in the community. And we've done that in a couple of ways. We do it through, what do we call it? Proclamations. We do 2 proclamations, one in the city and one in the town usually. We usually have a email blast that goes through the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce to raise awareness there. We usually send out something to town employees. Luckily, we have 2 mayors that are very supportive and a town manager, very supportive of what we do. So we usually send something out there. And then we do some things in the schools, and then of course on social media. So that planning continues as we speak. And let me tell you, it's funny, it's the 20th. It'll be here before you know it. Prevention Week starts May 10th. So I am in the process now of finalizing some online events and speakers for that week. And I'm hoping to do some fun contests too. So, you know, if anybody has any ideas of how they'd like to lift this up, please let me know. I'm open to any ideas. We did have a Google Planning doc, but, you know, if you can find that in your email, you can contribute to it, of course. If not, you can just tell me in another way. Any ideas for getting some attention on this Observance Week is great. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Prevention Week, it's a SAMHSA-led initiative, and every year there's a week of different observances. So every day is a different theme. So we try to do things in accordance with that theme. So stay tuned. I will be sending out emails about that more and more. So that will become the focus probably for the next 20 days, really, until we get there. So that'll be a lot of Prevention Week stuff. So we have time, and I'm eager to hear your feedback and ideas. The state marijuana campaign, that was a group, kind of like a coalition of coalitions, if you will. They came up with a whole campaign about, you know, basically educating legislators and the public about the concerns around marijuana and why it shouldn't be legal and why we need to educate people about it. And there are a bunch of print materials and electronic materials that we paid into, kind of. We bought into a campaign. I have yet to receive those yet, but as soon as we do, we will get those out. You know, social media, billboard type things, all sorts of different options there. So certainly that's one of our biggest focuses. So as soon as we get those materials, we will put them out. And of course, all of our events going online. So I'm happy to say that most of our coalition members are happy to come online and do this. All right. So youth campaign. So a lot of this is going to, because we can't really do much in the schools, a lot of this is going to be social media, a lot of social media. We're going to do some contests to try and get more kids engaged with our social media platforms, of course, and maybe have them do some creative work too, and incentivize it, of course, because we always get a good response. So in the past, we do like essay contests or, you know, PSA contests, and they're pretty popular. You know, you get some kids that are interested. So I have a list of cool things that kids might like. I talked to a couple of the seniors that are involved in the SAD group, and they told me that, you know, the Apple earbuds are really cool. I asked them about the new Polaroid cameras that came out, which are pretty cool. Some other sort of printable camera things. they said that those are all pretty cool and they're in our price range. So I'm going to be getting some of those to use as incentives. I can also order more lanyards. Those were popular. Of course, distribution will be a little tricky, but we will have them. More of our fun pens, you know, the black and red theme, which are the Fitch colors. Those will all come out. Serenity Ball funds, you guys saw.
Carolyn?
Yep.
Just let me interrupt you there for a second.
Please.
I know that distribution is a problem, but the food distribution that the Board of Education is doing at the 3 sites might be an option for distribution if we get to that point.
That's a great point. And it's funny that you say that because I asked permission. I think I asked Heather actually. I said, hey, I know you're involved. Could it be, you know, could we possibly use that as a way to get things out? And she said yes. So as soon as I have everything organized, I think that's a great idea. Thank you for reminding me about that. I've got some bags and I've got stickers to put on the bags, and then, you know, we've got a bunch of stuff. So definitely. And I wouldn't be surprised if I don't get everything organized till about Prevention Week. So that might work out nicely. So thank you, thank you. All right, Serenity Ball funds. So we voted on that. If you haven't voted, there's still time. I have to clarify, I know some people were interested in supporting the drug and alcohol free graduation party because of the situation at hand. I don't know what the deal with that is. So I'm going to have to ask and find out. So if you haven't taken that survey, you're welcome to do it. And we're not quite ready to make a decision on that yet because I need a little bit more information. So you are welcome to have your voice heard there. All right, how we doing, everybody? Everyone's good? All right. LPC grant. So the LPC grant is a pot of money that we get from CRAC, which trickles down from DEMIS, and it is available to the local prevention council in every town. And we happen to be the local prevention council, so we get that grant. However, I will say, interestingly, next year, the next round is going to be a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. And I'll tell you more about that as soon as I know, but the application will be coming out earlier and it's competitive. So it's not like a guarantee. I've been told not to worry because we have the infrastructure in place for a local prevention council, and it would be interesting if another group would try to form and use the strategic prevention framework and try to be another coalition. It would be kind of silly if that happened, but things are changing with that grant. So as soon as I know more, I'll share it with you. This year, we decided to focus on vaping. So we participated in 2 campaigns, one for youth and one for adults. And we got that right into the schools just before they closed. So there's some posters and some other promotional materials, pens, pencils, bags, you know, stuff like that. Postcards to parents and stuff, really with 2 different messages. The youth messages, know the harms, you know, increased perception of harm of what vaping is and why it's not safe. And then for parents, the message is, you know, talk to your kids about this. You know, this is still something we need to talk about. So that's more in the family norms category of what we do anyway. So it worked out nicely. You know, it's still something we have to talk about, tobacco and nicotine. As soon as we let our guard down, you know, that's when things start happening. So happy to continue that. And then underage drinking compliance. I'm happy to report that our ID scanner has gotten a lot of good feedback, which is nice. We bought one with the idea that we would loan it out to different establishments to get their feedback on it and see if it worked nicely and to see if it would be something that other stores would like. And we're working with Grand Wine and Spirits, and I'm working with the VP, whose name is Ben, and he's a wonderful guy, and he was the one who said, we'd love to use your scanner. They are doing curbside pickups and things like that, so they were all about it. And the good thing about the scanner is that it also reads military IDs, and that wasn't even something I was even thinking about, but they get a lot of it. You know, they're right on Route 12, not too far away from the base, and they get a lot of younger military folks, and some people are quick to pull out their military ID versus their, you know, driver's license. So this reads those as well. So they've been very, very happy with this, and they're looking to purchase more. Unfortunately, with this pot of money, I didn't have enough to buy a lot, especially because we're focused on some other substances right now. But I would love to buy more of these. So hopefully we can either encourage these establishments to buy them themselves, or we can help them buy them. So if that's the case, I have to figure out the money. But so good feedback there. They didn't have any concerns about privacy, which is good. They're very happy customers of that. So I'm very happy with how that worked. All right. The SOR grant. So this was the small grant that we were able to do some wellness programming with. This is what we you know, use for any of our recovery-friendly Groton activities that we have started. And then, of course, doing some education and coalition building around that. Mostly prescription drugs is the focus of this, so it's very focused. The expectation of this grant is that we promote the Live Loud campaign, which focuses on people with opioid use disorder, and also the Change the Script campaign, which focuses on prescription drug abuse prevention. So there's two things that we have to do with that, in addition to whatever else we want to do. So because we were going to do some wellness programming in person with like different providers and exercise and massage and you name it, we were going to try to do it because we never get to do those things. Funding never allows it. Unfortunately, we can't do that, so we have to figure out what else we want. So if anybody has any ideas for, you know, what they'd like to do with that, my tendency is to double up on the things that we said we were going to do, like the outreach and the advertising. That's a no-brainer for us. We can do more radio ads, we can do more print materials, we can do more social media, you know, radio, I think I already said radio ads. We can do those things and we can just amp it up, or we can do some other things. You know, we could buy more of the prescription disposal packets, which I still have some of, and I'm going to put in those packets that we do. But really, it has to have something to do with prescription drugs, ideally, or you know, recovery from prescription drugs or opioids. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Any feedback on that. It's some of these smaller grants end up being the most tricky just because, you know, you try to do a million different things with them. So, you know, it's good work when you can get it. But all right, let me check our chat box here. See if anybody has anything to say. Nope. All right. Okay, so pivoting to the academic detailing project. So we talked a little bit about this last month. I had it on the agenda for last month, but we only had 3 or 4 people who attended that meeting. So I'm going to talk about it again. So this was a kind of a last minute grant opportunity that Ledgelight was approached about from DEMAS. And basically what they're doing is working with health departments around the state to do a academic detailing project. So what does that mean? Basically, we reach out to healthcare providers, prescribers mostly, so nurse practitioners, physicians, and pharmacists. And what they would like us to do, and the other health departments that are doing this, are to basically detail them. So what does that mean? educate them in little bits of time, so 20-minute sessions, about certain topics. So in this case, they would like us to do 3 different modules with providers. One about naloxone, Narcan, which many providers probably already know about, but it's basically an intensive continuing education bit. The second topic is the prescription monitoring system. So that is a tool to basically prevent doctor shopping and to help pharmacists sort of see what clients are already being prescribed and where it's coming from. And it's a requirement that they use it. But some people aren't as good about it, or they might not use it as much. But basically, it's a quick reminder about that and why it's important. And then the third module that's in development is medication-assisted treatment. And I believe that is in development. It's not finished yet, but I know that Jen Muggio, who runs the opioid task force or overdose task force out of Ledgelight, is very interested in contributing to the development of that. So that will be the final one. So basically how this was supposed to work is we were supposed to go do lunch and learns in doctor's offices. And it was going to be me, one of our new public health nurses, Mary Day, and we were gonna do this. Now, of course, we have to do virtual. I think they have approved that, of course. And we were gonna, give them lunch, but I think now it'll be like a lunch voucher for them to go out and buy lunch, whatever lunch they want. So we are actively looking for referrals to business managers and providers to get them on the list of people. We need 10 providers to each do these 3 modules. So my ask to you all, and this does relate to what we do for GASP. It's a little bit of a departure, but not really, because we've done this sort of thing before. If you know of anybody, send them my way. We can get them the information. It is essentially an hour-long commitment. They do get 1.5 hours of continuing education, which a lot of providers will seek out. And it's 3 20-minute sessions. So the sessions might go a little bit longer, but essentially it's 3 short sessions. That's how they want them done. I mean, you could have multiple people attending one, but they really wanted that one-to-one feel. So that's that. It's part Ledgelight, part GASP, but it certainly relates to what we do. So I would appreciate any referrals, any links to people who may participate in that. Any questions? Okay. So outreach, we talked about this a little bit already. The GASP goodie bags. It's going to take me a moment to put them together. And I love the reminder from Jerry about distribution at meal pickup. I think that's great. Member recruitment, I can tell you what I've been doing for that. I have an account on the new site Alignable, if anybody's familiar with that. It's a networking site. It's kind of like a mix of LinkedIn with maybe Facebook. I don't know if I'm describing it right, but it's a new offering in that realm. And then of course LinkedIn. I'm trying to use LinkedIn more, which is good. Posting things about GASP, letting people know what we do. Some people use it to just find jobs, but I'm obviously not looking for a job. So I just use it to talk about public health and health promotion and what we're doing for GASP. So that's good. And then of course we're promoting the food locker. So I asked everybody if they were okay with us using our platform to promote that. And I'm happy to say that nobody objected to that. So that's great. And basically what I'm just doing is taking the information that, I got from Marge or that they put out publicly and just sort of recycling it and putting it out with our our logo just to say that this is something as a group that we promote. And we've been thanked for doing that, so that's great. So that's nice. That's, you know, because we're being active on social media, it seemed like a good idea. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt anything, and we certainly know there's a need. So, all right. So, any questions, comments so far? Me talking a lot, that's always fun. Anything? Let me check the little chat box here, see if we've got anything. Oh, no. All right. Let's see. Is there a Pills Anonymous here? Is that something we could support in some way? So Pills Anonymous, I don't know if there's Pills Anonymous. I know we have a very vibrant AA and NA community. We also have a bunch of Al-Anon and Alateen meetings. I don't know about pills. I think probably Narcotics Anonymous. That's probably the major one there. That's all I know about that. All right, so a couple things just to wrap up here before we open it up to discussion again. Our survey. So we started our survey about a week too late. A lot of the schools had just started to implement it right about the week that all of this started happening. So we have an incomplete survey. So what's going to have happen is we are going to have to probably do it in September, which is fine. It complicates things a little bit on the contract side just because our end date is June 30th. So I'm waiting to hear from a little guidance about that, but I'm hoping the school system will still be supportive to do it in September. I'm assuming we will be back to school in September. Maybe that's a little naive of me. I don't know. I'm hoping that's the case anyway. So unfortunately, that was probably the biggest disruption for us with all of this. The community survey, we link in with CRAC to do that. They do a community survey for the whole region. They had a good turnout, but Groton in specific didn't have a good turnout. We only had like 25 people. So that's not enough for us to really have a report made for us. So it's really not representative sample is really the problem there. So we may have to do another community survey and really hit that hard so we can say that we did it. I'll talk to Archie about that. I know we were gearing up to do some grant writing. So far, I've got some data from a couple of different places. Groton Public Schools gave me the disciplinary data about expulsions and suspensions. We got information about the school-based health center, about their screening. That was awesome. I haven't even really looked at it yet because I haven't had to, but it's there. It's in an email. So that's good that that's there. We don't need it quite yet. Let's see, do I have anything else here? That's pretty much it. I know this is a lot, especially for you, Dr. Vacher. I don't know if you have any questions about any of this. If anybody has any questions.
I might get in touch with you separately just to get the definitions.
Yep, absolutely. Happy to do that. All right, so anything else, anybody? You know, we've got a pretty busy schedule. I may be reaching out to individual people to help with specific tasks. For instance, I may be reaching out to some of my schools about extra credit or getting kids to watch some of these online events. I don't know how that's going to work. I think Suzanne, you were telling me that it's pretty hard to do some of this online stuff, different attention spans and commitment to it. So, you know, we'll see.
So Carolyn,
Yes.
just to add on to, I guess, some things that aren't specifically GASP related, but
Yep.
GASP is certainly a participant in. Officer McClellan can probably talk more about the National Night Out event that's coming up. It was scheduled for August, and certainly we'll see how things like that go once we get through the main part of our response to COVID, or at least the first part of it. And then also, I think GASP has been at the Fall Festival too. Am I right?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yes.
So one is August, and Officer McClelland, I don't know if you can, has there been any talk about rescheduling that, or is that pretty much still August 7th or something like that?
No, I actually sent an email out to the committee. I can resend it to you, but National Night Out has basically given the recommendation to all police departments and towns to move the National Night Out event to the first Tuesday of October.
Okay. All right. So I guess I think I must have been a little bit aware of that, because that's why I was mentioning the Fall Fest. So it seems to me, Carolyn and everybody else, certainly our focus is going to be on National Night Out, and there was some question about whether or not the Fall Festival is actually going to happen. And now that National Night Out is going to be in the first weekend in October, which is traditionally the same date as the Fall Festival, I'd have to think that the likelihood of having both events is lessened greatly. So, like I say, I know from Parks and Rec standpoint, Pequannock Plains Park is going to be used for National Night Out, so I can say that definitively. And what it might look like with what we're dealing with at the time is going to be a question. But anyway, I just wanted to share that as well, because I know that GASP was a big part of that event as well.
Yeah, I mean, bummer. I mean, we do so many outreach events, and, it's a big part of what we do, and I love it. I mean, so not everybody loves setting up a table outside, but, I've met a lot of coalition members that way. I've met a lot of people and made some nice connections. And then, of course, we've given out so much information and promotional materials and everything. So it's a bummer for sure, but we will be there ready, willing, and able to help out whenever these events happen. I'm excited to get back out there again, of course.
And sorry, just to interrupt real quick. The date is October 6th.
Mhm.
Again, the first Tuesday of October.
Got it. October 6th. Yeah, I think I have that on my calendar, but I wasn't going to be able to recite it up here, of course. Yeah, we will be ready for that, for sure. And we will help out in whatever way we can. Yeah. So anything else? Any last thoughts? Now, of course, no one has to go on the spot now. If you have any thoughts, you can email them to me or whatever. Always happy to have some feedback. Happy to listen. And, if there's things that you would like to see GASP do that we're not doing, or if you feel like we need to pivot somewhere, or anything you'd like us to do next year, I have to start making those plans now. They're always so early to ask me what our plan is for next year. And it's like, come on, I'm not even done with this year, but I have to start telling them what we're doing, and I'm not even there yet. We still have so much to do. So, all right. Any last words? We're good? All right, you are all free to go. Thank you so much for spending your lunch hour with me. I will follow up with an email if there are any to-dos. Hi, McDonald, I see you. Special guest. So yeah, so let me know. Stay in touch and keep fighting the good fight. You guys are all very busy doing lots of important things. So always thank you for your time and attention.
Can I just butt in real quick?
Oh yeah, RJ. Yep. Hi, RJ.
Hi, I would just like to say I hope everybody stays safe with the corona.
That's lovely. Thank
You
you.
too.
No problem.
Yeah, and I'll say that RJ did a nice, as part of his duties as youth peer advocate, he submitted a video that might be shown statewide for Prevention Week. So thank you, RJ.
Thanks for
Okay,
a great
everyone's
meeting.
free to go.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.